Hello guys, Dazzleball here. Welcome to yet another new series on my channel. This time we're going to be playing some FIFA 15 career mode, and hopefully we'll finish this series before FIFA 16 comes out. Fingers crossed. We are going to be playing with Nottingham Forest as our team, and the reasoning behind that really is because they're a really great historic team. Obviously they had their days of glory in the 70s with Brian Clough, of course, is their manager, and hopefully we can sort of try and redo what he did back then, which is get Nottingham Forest promoted to the best English division, the Premier League, of course, and then also qualify for the European competitions and win them, as he did with the predecessor for Champions League back then. But yeah, that's the plan and the format of the series really. So it's gonna be a long journey. Hopefully we can get this done in maybe a maximum of 4 to 5 seasons. It might be a little bit ambitious, but we'll see. And yeah, I'm going to be trying to pump out these episodes as quickly as possible. So I'll do my best with that. And yeah, hopefully you guys can give me some great feedback and we can try and get the best and optimal signings and quickly get promoted and establish ourselves in the Premier League as soon as possible, and then even maybe take it a step further, of course. But we're gonna need some really good players to do that. So I mean, it's pretty good because Nottingham Forest actually has a really decent team. They have a very young team, a lot of great talents, and then they have some veterans. But I think that'll make for a really great mix, and hopefully it will carry us to promotion. But first of all, we're just gonna be looking at the objectives here in the domestic cup. The board wants us to reach the round of 32, which can be somewhat challenging because I am planning to use the reserves basically in that tournament. But yeah, hopefully we can still accomplish that one, and then we just have some scouts introducing themselves. That's fine. I think we will be looking to hire some new scouts, but probably first in the next episode. And the league objective here is that we need to gain automatic promotion, which I thought was really ambitious for the board, because I mean, Nottingham Forest in real life, I think they finished like 14th. And don't get me wrong, they're a really good team, but I mean, the championship is just absolutely filled to the brim with great teams. So it might be a little bit difficult to actually gain automatic promotion. You need to be in the top 2 in the league to achieve that. So I mean, we'll see about that. High expectations definitely from the board, but we'll do our best. And right here I'm looking at some of the suggested transfers from our scouts, and I see Christian Eriksen and I'm like thinking, what are you on about? Because I mean, that is somewhat unrealistic, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, let's be honest, we're never gonna get Christian Eriksen, at least not for another 3 to 4 seasons. So I don't quite know what he's doing there, but he did also recommend some other more realistic signings, such as Rohan Ince and Dwight Gale. I quite like both those players, and I think they are somewhat realistic. I mean, Dwight Gale might have to sign him next season because I mean, he's a little bit too good, I think, to be playing in the championship at this point. But we do need a new defensive midfielder, so I think Rohan Ince might make for a good match for the team there. I'm not quite sure. We'll see about that, but in general the team is quite solid, but as you can see, we are still looking for some improvements. I'm looking for especially a defensive midfielder and also a center back, I think, because also in real life Nottingham Forest did have a bit of a shaky defense during this the campaign, 2014-2015 campaign. So I will be looking to hopefully improve that quite a bit. I think the attack is looking really decent. We have some great wingers, and we have Asambalonka, who luckily isn't actually injured in this game. In real life, he's injured for like still like another half year, I think, because he had got like a massive injury, like a year injury, which is absolutely insane and very unfortunate for the club, because he was actually banging in goals left, right, and center. I think they were leading the league right when he was actually healthy, and then he got that massive injury. It's just really crushed their promotion plans. So that was very, very unfortunate. But now I'm just trying to set up the scouting networks. I'm gonna send my final scout to Spain to try and scout some players there, because that really matches my playstyle. I am looking to have a lot of possession, preferably maybe at least over 50%. It is very difficult to keep possession against the legendary AI, but I think it's the way to go to beat them. We are playing against, of course, legendary AI and 6-minute halves, just so you know that. But here you can see the squad report. We have Carl Darlow, who's actually on loan in real life. I think the loan deal has ended now. The same goes for Lachelle. And both these players actually are on loan from Newcastle. They have both been playing for, I think, Nottingham Forest, but then Newcastle bought them and then immediately loaned them back to the club. So I'm not quite sure what the situation is there, because I did check later and it didn't really say they were on loan. So I presume that we can actually keep them. It's quite a big deal because they have like great potential, both of them. But the rest of the team here, you can see it's really just a mix of very young players and somewhat old players, the veterans, and I quite like that mix. I think it's very balanced out. We won't be starting an insanely young team, but we still have some absolutely insane prospects, and I will be trying to give them as much playing time as possible. We have George Grant, we have Riera, I think, like a center back. We have Osborne. We'll be looking to give these guys as much playing time as possible. But right here I'm trying to pick out my starting 11, which proved somewhat difficult. I wanted this 4-3-3 formation to start out with. It is one of the formations that I like the most in FIFA. Whether or not it really fits this team perfectly, I'm not quite sure, but please leave a comment down below if you think there's a better formation for the current roster. I definitely think there might be, but it seemed like the most natural formation though, because we have such great wingers and we have a great striker as well and a decent midfield. Right here I'm just trying to pick out the best players, and we also have this Akpom guy who's a very exciting prospect from Arsenal, also on loan I think, so we will be looking to maybe give him some playing time, although I don't really like giving loan players too much playing time, because obviously they are not our players and they will be leaving, so developing them for another club is not really too efficient. But if they can really help out the team, then of course I will play them a lot. And so I really like our wingers. We have Antonio, who, if you don't know, he actually has an amazing story where he was brought up in a very troubled district, I think, and he actually managed to sort of overcome that challenge and just establish himself as a top quality footballer really, and get sort of out of that vicious social cycle. I don't really know how to put it in English, but it was very impressive. You can find some documentaries on it on YouTube. His whole story is very inspiring, but I'm definitely looking to keep him because he's a very solid winger. I might actually look to sign at least one more winger, so we have a 3-man rotation on the wings. I think that'll work out quite well for us. I think the midfield, in general, it's pretty good. I think I'll be playing Lansbury definitely, which I think is one of the profiles of the team. And then I was kind of debating who should play the other CM spot. and I think I gave it to Osborne in the end because he looks like our most promising youngster, and we don't really have any other like great center mids, so I think he'll actually get that spot unless we of course sign some new players for the start 11, but we'll see about that. Right here I'm trying to free up some funds for our potential signings. I sort of sorted the players after how much wage they were getting, because if some of the older players are getting a lot of wage, we might look to offload them so we can gain a lot of transfer budget. And I was actually debating whether or not to sell Wilson, but he is actually a very solid defender, so like in FIFA, because he has the pace and the defending and the physical, so he's very all around, so it's definitely a defender I would enjoy playing with, I think. But I think my central defense in the end actually will be Manchin and maybe Lascelles. It depends if he's actually on loan or we can keep him permanently. That sort of is a game breaker, because if we can keep him permanently, that would be absolutely great. I think he has insane potential, at least 80 plus, which is really, really good. So I'm definitely looking to keep him. So I think we might have to sell Hobbs, which is something I was a little bit sad about, because he's actually, I think he's their captain in real life. So I don't feel good selling these club legends. But for the sake of the career mode, I thought if I'm not really going to be using him anyways, he might as well, go and play in another club. So please, also leave me a comment saying what your opinion is on that particular topic. And other than that, I might actually also look to sell the Dutch striker, Veldwijk, I think, because just to make it a little bit more realistic, because he has also left them in real life, I'm pretty sure. So if you can like update me in the comments on like exactly how their roster is currently looking and who they're being linked with of different kind of players, then I'll be happy to sign some of those players, because I do want to make this career mode a mixture of a very realistic career mode, but also one where we sign insane youngsters that will grow into absolute club legends, hopefully, and can really help us quickly sort of boost our standing in English football and European football. So I'm just looking to put a lot of the youngsters on the loan list, because realistically I'm not gonna be using all of those youngsters. We have so many, but if they can take a year at a different club and come back even stronger, that'll be great. But right now I'm just gonna find my transfer targets and then I'll get back to you. So before we jump into my shortlist, here is my current transfer budget. It's not looking too great, but £3 million is not the end of the world, definitely. And if we can sell a couple of players as well, we can maybe get about £5 million, I think, maybe even more for new signings, which I'm pretty happy with that. It's okay for a championship side, I definitely say. But these are some of the players that we are looking to sign. I'm not sure about the goalkeeper position, because if Darlow is not actually on loan and we can keep him, I'm very tempted to do that, because he also becomes a very good keeper in the future. Then we have a right back, Seldua, which looks very solid. Might be trying to bring him in, even though I think it's Lee Kai, who we have at the right back at the moment, who also has some potential, so we might look to keep him. Then we have a young centre back, Danish centre back with a lot of potential that I might look to sign. It kind of depends on his price tag, but we'll see about that. And then we have Scott Malone, who I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna sign him. I thought he had a lot more potential, but turns out he's not gonna be that great. Then we have, of course, Rohan Inns, and then Camarasa, and also Ruben Neves for the central defensive mid spot. Ruben Neves obviously would be a very unrealistic signing, but at the same time, he would be someone that we could keep for the next 4 to 5 seasons. Really, he's absolutely insane. So I might try and see if we can actually get him, because I think he'll definitely be worth it. And we have a couple of wingers as well, Sisto, Hervias, and Suso, that I'm also looking to sign. See whether or not we can do that, and of course Dwight Gale. But we have Assam Balonga, which is an absolute machine. So I don't really think we need a striker at this point, but we definitely need a backup striker next season, so he might be relevant there. But that's gonna do it for this episode. Please leave a like if you enjoyed it, and leave a comment down below with transfer suggestions. Subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching, and have a great day, and peace.